So we're sitting down here with Fallen from SK. Fallen, not the results you guys wanted going into the event, but what are some positive things you guys can take away?
Hello everyone. So first, it's a pleasure to be here at the event. Being here in Dallas, Texas is an awesome place. And for this tournament, our main focus was going out of the group stage because last 5 tournaments, I'd say, we didn't accomplish that. So going to the playoffs was important for us. And the way it was, the loss and defeat on the quarters against FaZe was a little bit heartbreaking because we could have won the first map. We made some small mistakes that cost us the game, and we just got to roll it in on the second map, and they deserve the victory for sure. But many things to take away from this tournament. We improved on some maps. Others, we now understand what are our failures and what we need to change. So we feel improvement, and that's important for the team.
You did bring up the previous tournaments, and I think it's a fair assessment. At least the general public and the media, you guys, have been struggling since bringing on Stewie and everything there. What is your personal assessment, looking from an internal point of view from the team? What is it that has been rough adjusting or anything?
It's hard to point only one thing, but for a core lineup that we have on the team that won almost the majority of the tournaments in the last 2 years, we are the biggest team in 2016 and 17. So of course the expectations for our team in 2018 were pretty high. And for ourselves as well, like everyone wanted to keep the same pace, but we just unfortunately we're not able to do it. And one of the things is just the personal level. I think even my level is just not the same as it was in the past years. And of course you cannot left out the fact that other players are getting better as well. Like the teams are improving, the players are getting better, and the competition is always more challenging and more challenging every time it goes by. So I think it's a little bit of everything that sums up all the results we have been approaching this time.
Is there any truth to language barrier being any issue with Stewie? You finally brought in a non-Brazilian player. Any truth to that language barrier having an issue with it?
I don't think it's only the language barrier. If you look for the results with Taco, the past 2 tournaments that Taco played with us, we left group stage as well, and we were all speaking Portuguese. So of course, the language barrier can be challenging, and it was one of the factors that might make your development a little bit slower, but I don't think it's the only main point of the problems, as the other results show otherwise, right? But the team is getting better on communicating English, and one thing that's important, we're getting the confidence on getting some important wins in speaking English, because I think it's more of a mental state than the fact that we're not giving some call-outs or saying proper words in English. It's more about the mental state of communicating English, sometimes not being 100% sure that you can win games doing that. So I think we're overcoming this a little bit game by game.
So, question for you. I've always known you as like the godlike in-game leader, right? I mean, that's what I feel like a lot of the community knows you as making changes and kind of being innovative and creative. How has the transition been out of an in-game role and more into looking for you to bring additional firepower instead of focusing on the mental aspects as much of the game?
I think I still can accomplish a little bit more in terms of firepower. On this tournament, I think I did a good job on the group stage, but could have been better on the playoffs. Especially on the first map on Overpass, there were some moments where I could have been the decision factor for my team, and I missed some easy plays. But it's challenging to change your game as well, like being game leading the whole time and then suddenly you just listen to orders and trying to do what other people want. It's a little bit challenging, but it's something I'm liking. So I'm doing what the team needs, and I'm happy doing what everyone feels comfortable with. And it's not like I don't give any more input or any more calls. It's just that now we have someone else helping it. It's cool, of course.
How does coldzera's style of in-game leading differ than yours?
I think my style in the past has always been like prepare the team before, so everyone can make their own choices at the right time, and everyone should follow what someone says because they have a good read, and everyone should know how to react, right? And with coldzera, he tries to put a little bit more of preset plays in order for us to avoid losing players while doing map control and stuff like that. So you lose a little bit of freedom, but at the same time you know what you can do. So it's a little bit more robotic with coldzera, and he tries to prepare the team in a way where we suffer a little bit less on the random factors. That's how I would say coldzera tries to lead.
With whether it be a roster change or in-game leader changing, anything there, is there any threshold where you guys as a team kind of say, okay, we've lost or we haven't done well in X amount of tournaments, let's change this, or is it kind of all just a feel that you kind of in game time decision? Okay, let's mix this up.
We always have been a team that doesn't really think too much to make the change. When changes are needed, we do it. We always been like that, and mainly the change we made is because of out game factors. When we feel someone is not cooperating that much or not really willing to go over everything that needs to be done. But in game wise, it really needs to be something that is not working anymore. So as soon as we feel there's no improvement anymore, then it's time to start thinking about changing. But I think we're far from that. Like we see a lot of improvements. Everyone is excited. Everyone is really with the heads up after defeats. Everyone still feels we can get better than that, and everyone accepts the challenge of overcoming this problem together. So I think we're far from thinking about change so far.